Honorable Premier, President Dawson, Dr. Angel Smith, Commodore Van Houten, and Miles, Sloop sailors and honored guests, thank you all very much for coming to this award ceremony today. It's a little on the warm side, and I've worn my wash and wear outfit. But we're very pleased everybody could come. In order to get things started, I'd like to invite our college president, Carl Dawson, to step up and make a few remarks. Carl?
Thank you very much, Jeff, and Honorable Premier, other members of the head table, ladies and gentlemen. I say a very warm good afternoon to you. I think I may even sweat a little bit more because I've been a little bit under the weather, and one of the marks of it has been excessive sweating. And if I continue a little bit, I'll see a couple more symptoms, and I'll ask Dr. Smith to tell me what exactly is wrong with me. That'll teach me to keep my mouth shut. But certainly, ladies and gentlemen, I really think that I'm thankful to you for having taken the time to come out and share in this ceremony, organized by the Virgin Islands Studies Institute, and particularly the Sloops, for which Jeff Brooks is the one in charge. And I'd like to personally say thanks to Jeff, because he has been the one who has been ensuring that this event comes off year after year, the festival races. But in addition to the festival races, we also take part in other races through the year, the Sweethearts and so on. So we would like to say a very big thanks to Jeff, and I'd like us to give him a round of applause for his continued effort in keeping this aspect of our heritage alive. I mentioned that the college is now, this aspect of Jeff's work is now organized under the Virgin Islands Studies Institute, which is led by Dr. Angel Smith. And the Institute aims to help in keeping aspects of our culture alive, helping as far as educating, and helping us, as I always like to say, understand who we are as a people. And who we are as a people relates to the persons who have been here for generations. But it also relates to those who have come here 5, 10, 20, 30 years ago, because we have now all melted together to make up what is now the Virgin Islands. As far as the college is concerned, the Sloops is but one aspect of what we do in the area of heritage and culture. There are other resources that we are developing, such as the Marine Boardwalk, which is primarily an environmental learning experience. We are in the process, and have been in the process for some time, of developing a replica of an old sugar mill. There are some around, but we are building one based on the plans from the exact replica of the one at Joe's Hill. And we also have other plans close to that area for an entire heritage site. So we're very thrilled that this aspect of it is moving forward strongly, and we continue to seek the support of the entire community as we, as the college, do our part as far as helping us to understand who we are as a people and to treasure the heritage of the Virgin Islands. So again, I say thanks to you for coming and sharing with us, and for your continued support of the great festival Sloop Race. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carl. The sloop races and the maintenance of the sloops is something that is not done just by the college. It's done with the assistance of many other people in the community, individuals, groups. And at this time, I would like to single out the management and staff of Nanny Key Marina, many of whom are here with us today, for years, for 12, 13 years since I first started to do this, Nanny Key has always lent a hand with haul out, maintenance that we do on the boats. And over the past several years, they have provided us with a permanent home for these boats. And I would like to ask the manager of Nanny Key Marina and Boatyard, Miles Pilch, to come up and say a few words.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Jeff, the Honourable Premier. It's a great pleasure to be involved with the sloops. It's one of our kind of pet projects that we love to get involved with here at Nanny Key, and to see it grow, seeing a growing fleet in this environment is also great. Often, almost daily, we see different visitors to the islands walk down the dock and admire this part of Tortola's heritage, and it's really, well, just thrilling to be part of it. And also with Jeff's continued pushing of the sloop, seeing more and more of the school children coming down here and learning a bit more and getting real hands-on feel to these boats is something I'm very proud to be a part of. I just need to get out sailing, take up Jeff's offer, going out a few more times. Maybe we could do one in the week and it wouldn't be a clash with the family. And at some point I'd love to be the official home of the island sloop, so maybe you can make that happen, Jeff. But as I say, we love being involved with the island sloops, and long may it continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miles. There's someone else here representing the Loyal West End Yacht Club, and he and the Loyal West End Yacht Club have partnered, in addition to the Virgin Islands Powerboat Association, have partnered with the college from the very beginning, and we organized the very first sloop race. That was 11 years ago. And I would like to have the Commodore Martin Van Houten, who, like I said, has helped me with every single race that we've had, among others that we do. All right. So if you'd welcome Commodore Martin Van Houten of the Loyal West End Yacht Club.
Hi, good afternoon. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out, and of course our honored guest, the Premier, Honorable Premier. Many years ago, Jeff came to me with an idea, and this idea obviously consisted of the shootout. It was something that we all had a double take on, but in hindsight, looking back on it, it was rather interesting, and it has become a unique event. It's really unique because I think it's one of the only races in the world where two heads of state, shall we say, get out there and go out and toss around on a race course on old, particularly these island sloops. So it is rather unique. We're, as Jeff said, in the 11th year of this event. We now have 6 boats that will participate, and it is so great to see here today some of the people that I'm honored to be racing against are here today. Mr. Butch Romney, John Shirley, Mr. Dale Durant, and too many others that I can't remember all the names, but of course the Premier himself, for having come out. He's one of our staunch supporters, and it is so great to see him interacting with others, Elvet Myers and the others, and discussing strategy and tactics in sailing these sloops. So it really is quite an honor to be out there. This year, Jeff has asked me, because we do now have a different variety of these boats. They're not exactly the same, and so saying, they weren't exactly the same in times gone by. These boats were never always exactly the same. So we've actually introduced a handicapping system which will allow for a fairer playing field, and we're hoping that that's also going to enhance the event. You know, Jeff has. I've always been a strong supporter, both personally and with the proceeds from the yacht club and the assistance of the yacht club. And again, I can't thank enough Miles, all the staff here from Nanny Key, including Brendan Joyce, all the dock guys on the docks here, Brent and Richard, Walton and Hugo. They do a bang-up job. They really do, and they really deserve our thanks for helping out with these sloops. The many contractors here at Nanny Key who also get involved and will do all kinds of jobs, which when I go to them, they will say, oh, no problem, Martin, you know, there's no charge on that. So, you know, some of these things they're doing, some of the stuff obviously has to be paid for. And I guess the only other thing that can lead me to is, again, we do thank the community for the support, but we do need more support. We now have Moonbeam, which is in the boatyard. Moonbeam is in need of repairs, and these repairs are, of course, specialty repairs because of the type of boat that it is. And we asked that we could get more support for this so that we could restore that boat. It's going to be a long road, and we hope that we can do it. We would like to see more of these boats. You know, we have to even thank Watson White for building some of these boats, but Watson is getting on in his years, and it's more difficult for him to build another boat. But we do thank him for the boats that he's built us, which is, of course, Sea Moon and Moonbeam. So again, I just wanted to thank everybody, you know, for my opportunity to be involved and for the opportunity to be out there in a unique event racing in these sloops. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Martin. I might also add that we have a brand new sloop this year called Esme that was built by Mr. Leando Nibbs and has been graciously given to the college, which brings our personal fleet up to 5. If you add in the boat over at Joseph Van Dyke, the Endeavor, that brings our sloop fleet up to 6. And we're hoping to expand it even more as we go along. I'd like to get some brief remarks, if I may, from the director of our Virgin Islands Studies Institute, who is now my immediate supervisor, Dr. Angel Smith.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to everyone. I thought that I had the podium and could do at will, but Jeff, in his wise wisdom, just pegged me to brief remarks, which I didn't like that anyway. I thought I could throw in a good thing. But it's a pleasure really working with Jeff, with the sloops. I would say, well, if I would think about it, what qualifies me to speak even on these boats apart from being a historian, I say, well, that's because I'm a Smith. And the Smiths were some of the greatest boat builders. As we discussed with Jeff one day, we discussed about how we could get more people building boats in the Virgin Islands. And I said, well, I think I have a plan. And since the Smiths were some of the greatest boat builders, I have to get them going to build a boat. So I figured that I would go down to Frenchman's Quay and I would start a nice little rumor that Orlando going to build a boat. And I thought that with that, I would get them all going because I know the Smiths are very competitive. And you throw a boat in, Dr. Smith, we're going to have some problems. So I don't know if you're going to play along and start gathering material. And then they will say, well, it got to be true. They see him going with wood on a truck. But we thought that the whole concept of the Virgin Islands boat, the sloops, is an interesting one. And I found myself reflecting on what I was told by one of our boat builders years ago, that very early when we moved into the yachting industry, that the idea that he had proposed was that for every boat, every company that registers in the Virgin Islands, that government should have given them a quota based on the number of boats that they had, that they should have at least X amount of boats that were locally built. At the time, it was felt that that would have been too difficult because the boat building industry was on the decline. But as we look back at it now, it might have been one way that we would have been able to maintain the industry and keep interest in it. So now we have to do a lot of work to get boat building back on the agenda, to utilize the traditional skills, and to get more persons interested in it. As we look at the history of boat building, we see that it goes way back to the 1800s, even the 1700s. I've shared with Jeff documentation that shows that some of the boats listed, owned by plantations, were built locally and referred to as plantation boats. These boats were all over the Virgin Islands because each plantation, most of the major plantations, their property extended from the hills right down to the sea. We didn't have a lot of land, a lot of road works in terms of being able to communication and transportation across the land, but it was by sea that they moved a lot of their goods. So each plantation had a harbor where they could bring their stuff in, and through lighters they would then carry them off to the bigger ships, or even bring them into Road Town where they would then transport them overseas. So the boat building industry is one that, if we look at it, it can help to revive our economy in a very interesting way, to bring back some of the traditional skills that would make some difference in our community. When I was growing up in Cane Garden Bay, the boats that were being built, they were still being built. There was one boat builder in the village, but they were now building speedboats because they had continued to move on and evolved. So by the time I came around, they had gotten rid of the sails, and they were just then at that point using engines. And after that, then we had that total decline where we found that no boats were actually being built in that quantity. But today, I think we have an opportunity where we can gradually regain the interest, and through some competition by communities or villages or even families, to encourage persons to pool their resources and build a boat, even if it's just to save the family name. Because I keep saying to my cousins, I don't think the Smiths should go down like that. We need to build a boat. So at some point, Dr. Smith, we're going to have to call on you to bring your as and your tools. Because I know one thing we all have is that skill in woodworking. I don't know why, but we were all taught that basic skill. So maybe we were taught it for such a time as this, that we could come together and actually build a boat. There are those who are saying they know how to build it. They can build it with their eyes closed. So we shouldn't have a problem. But with all that, I just want to say thanks to Jeff for the work that he has been doing, and all those persons who've come along to assist in keeping this heritage, this bit of our heritage alive, and that we can continue to develop it and work. I pledge my support through the Virgin Islands Studies Institute, working along with Jeff to do whatever is necessary to ensure that we keep the boats going, and we find other ways that we can continue to build and add to the fleet of boats around the territory owned by different persons, communities, or groups. So again, I just want to say thanks to Jeff and all those persons who have put the time in to ensure that this bit of our history is kept alive. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Smith. Now it's time to get down to the real business of this ceremony, and that's the awards. I'm going to deviate a little bit from the program, and Dr. Catherine Smith was unable to make it this afternoon, so I'm going to present the Heritage Awards and ask Martin Van Houten, the Commodore, to give me a hand with that, if you would, please. And what we have are first, second, and third prizes, and there are for the races overall. So now we have the Sloop shootout between the Premier and the Governor, but also we have 3 other races, and you take the average of the performance in the 4 overall races, and we have trophies for that also. So this year, we actually had a tie for 3rd place. Here it is. And the first tie, it went to Sea Moon, which is our honorable premier. Yeah, we got. I don't think there's anyone else here present that was on the boat with him, but here is your third place trophy. Here, get in this. Thank you. Yeah, that's yours. The next third place trophy goes to Esme. We have Dwayne and John Shirley here. Vincent Wheatley doesn't seem to have made it. Come on up here, guys. I really want to thank both of these guys. They have raced in just about every one we've done, right? Almost. All you have to do is call them up and they'll say, okay, let's go.
It was the first time that Esme really had a good sea trial out, as the boat had been built so recently that up to the very days before the regatta, they were still rigging the boat and trying to finish the boat. So really kudos to these guys for getting into the boat almost, shall we say, as a guinea pig. But the boat did perform well, and it's a very lovely boat.
It did. Dr. Smith, you remember we ran late, and that was the reason we ran late. And I really, really wanted that boat to be in the race. Mr. Leandro Nibbs had worked so hard to make it happen. We couldn't let him down. But, you know, we pulled into the dock by the moorings where it was, and I said, well, guys, I hate to do this to you, but do the best you can. And they did. And the neat part is they excelled at it. That's a nice, fast boat, and you guys did a great job, and I want to thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
We now come to the second place overall trophy, and this goes to a veteran boat named Youth Instructor. And if I could have our Jamel Davis come up here. Dr. Carl Dawson, the actual captain of the boat. Turn around, guys. Great job this year. And Jamel, in particular, did a fabulous job helping Carl sail the boat. And since then, he has agreed to sort of adopt it. And it's very fitting because it was built by your uncle, yes, Osmond Davis. So, and that's one of the other wonderful things about these races is we're involved, the families of the two biggest boat building families in the BVI, from Daniel Smith and Claremont Floyd Davies. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I think that'll look good in your office, don't you? I agree. And Jamel, thank you, man. You're a great supporter. The boat that took first place was Intrepid. And if we can get Dale to come up here, we have the crew of Intrepid, Martin Van Houten. This wasn't fixed now. And Dale Durant. And you guys did a great job with that boat. Intrepid, you'll remember, was bought in St. Croix, but she was built here originally. And as best as we can figure, she was built around 1915. And she's the oldest boat we have. The only reason she still exists is that she was coated in fiberglass in the late 1940s and 50s and again in the 80s. So inside that coating is 100-year-old wood and the design of an original Tortola boat. But she did an outstanding job. These guys not only sail her in the races, but they maintain her. And that's I want to thank y'all. Great job. Great job. I'd like to ask Dr. Angel Smith to come up and help me present this next award. And this is this year's Sloop Shootout winner, which was Dr. Smith.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate Jeff and the Loyal Western Yacht Club for starting these races and for working so hard to continue them. The races, as Jeff said, started with a shootout between the premier and the governor. They were quite interesting races. But what you must also recognize that even though it was slated as a shootout between the premier and the governor, the Jeff and the Loyal Yacht Club made sure that there were experienced sailors, navigators, and everybody on board those boats so that the premier and the governor would not have to be overstressed. Nevertheless, it was quite fun and quite interesting. I did appreciate those early sails, and I encouraged Jeff to the idea that we should expand the fleet. So the race would be not just between the governor and the premier, but also be a race that would be between boat lovers, BVI sloops, and thereby encouraging people to build more such boats. And it could then develop into both the boat building industry and also part of the tourism product. There's something similar to that going on in Anguilla. There's an Anguilla wooden boat race, which is Anguilla boats virtually. And it's, I think, quite an attraction. And it's something I think we should could aspire to, because BV Islanders used to be great boat builders in the day before the fiberglass boats came along. And I must admit that our account Angel, our common forebear, was one of the great boat builders of the time, and the one who used to win many races as well. So there is in the BVI this aptitude and for boat building, and it is good that it's being kept alive in this way, because it is important that we remember our heritage, and also use that to the effect to help us to build and develop the economy from the point of view of tourism and other aspects. So thanks again to Jeff and the Loyal Yacht Club, and to those who actually manned the boats that I was sailing in. I am hoping one day to be able to truly captain one of those boats and see if I can really sail, but that they may come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Premier. I missed one of our staunchest supporters over there, and you should have gotten up to get your second place award with the rest of your youth instructor crew, and that is Wellington Butch Romney. And Butch, could you stand up and just let us give you a hand? Butch is another one of our longtime staunch sloop sailors and supporters, and he's another one that you call up and he just says, what time and where are we meeting? He's always there, and he loves to sail, and he loves to carry on in the tradition of his family also. We have one more special award to give this year, and then our ceremony will close. And I would like to ask Dr. Angel Smith and President Dawson if they would present that trophy for me.
Thank you. The trophy reads, Great Festival Sloop Shootout and Heritage Regatta 2014. This award is presented to the Honorable Dr. D. Orlando Smith for personally winning 6 out of the 11 shootout races and for his faithful support and active participation in the preservation of the maritime heritage of the Virgin Islands. Presented by the Virgin Islands Studies Institute at the H. Lavity Stout Community College. Please come forward, sir. This one for home. This for home.
Thank you both very much for doing that, and thank you, Dr. Smith, for doing a great job all these years. It's much appreciated. When we first came up with this idea of a shootout, it never would have worked if the premier, I think you were the chief minister back then, and Governor McCann didn't agree to do it. And what they managed to do was set a precedent which has continued 10 more years from the first race, so it's really been good. Before I conclude this brief ceremony, I would like to invite everybody to take a walk on the dock before you leave. We have all four of our sloops parked up right there, and you can just take a look at them, maybe take a picture, take home with you. I would like to thank the Premier's office, GIS, Miss Natalie Hodge and Nadia James Harris. Did I get that right? Yeah, good. And the boys here for coming out and making this event possible. They really worked hard and put together a nice venue here. And thank you to Nanny Key for allowing us to do it here. I bid you all a good day and thank you all very much for coming and look forward to our races next year, hopefully with more boats.